Okay, so this is part two. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Interstim and all the all the maintenance that goes into a body that has chronic and progressive things happening. And so I don't know, did I talk about? I'm going blank, but about the esophagus that tightening up and being mostly congested because of my COPD, my asthma, my allergies, and only having a little bit of airflow here, and just like working that thing. I just panicked because that moment that I had been worried about finally happened. And no one was on this side of the house. So I'm just like, come on, nostril, come on. And I just had to slow down to where, because I got it a little bit open, to where I could get some enough air if I just stayed calm until all of it kind of cleared up. And but the throat, it stayed that way for a while. And so of course when they did the barium swallow, it didn't show itself. But that's typical, right? Even though it was happening multiple times a day, the choking and the, but didn't show itself. But like I told my primary care, I'm gonna go with what the GI said, and why chase something that eventually is going to give you its name. It will eventually, especially if it's progressive, tell you what its name is. So yeah, it'll happen. And yeah, just I was my routine in the morning. I timed it once. I'm at 2 hours for the morning routine and all the things I have to do, and then about another 2 hours at the end of the day, and then in the middle, 15 minutes here or there. And that's on days where I'm I'm doing hydration 3 times a day. So on those days, it's just, and I've got meds that where I'm allergic to my devices that have been implanted. So I need IV strength Benadryl to really help, despite all of my protocol for my mast cell stuff. I need more. And yeah, that and the Zofran. And it's all consuming. And I am homeschooling my 7-year old. He's the second grade now. This is for the second year. Um, and I don't know what's going to happen because I don't get enough in disability to send him back to the private school I could afford when I was working. So life is interesting. Um, and there's so many of you who, oh my gosh, guys, so many of you, Jody. I mean, the list is long, and I have people who are actually visiting my blog, and I haven't even been there. I mean, every day that blog gets 100 hits. I don't know how. Okay, but um, it's been hard. I've had people most recently who are upset that you know I can't be what I used to be, and they don't really see how time consuming. And I saw my rheumatologist yesterday, back on my Plaquenil, amitriptyline. Guys, the med list is like obscene now. It was already bad, but they kept having to add on things just so that I can have as much as symptom-free day as possible. Um, but what was I gonna say about my rheumatologist? The point is, it's a lot, and I can't do parties. My sensitivities to smells. I can't do a lot of noise. I can't do a lot of light. And then there's the seasonal depression but I've been had bad, so I need the light box. And so you add on another hour to your day. Of course, you can use it and do something else, but I don't think people realize We're human beings. I'm not a machine. I do not multitask. No. And I prided myself on that in my 20s, and that's how I got all the jobs I got. But the reality is that I'm human, and I have a 7-year-old who'll be 8, and I don't multitask anymore, and I explain that to people, and I'm like, slow down what you're saying and tell me the one thing I can do for you. That's just like in home life, like mom. My mom, she's a mover and a shaker. I'm just like, I used to kick myself, but now I'm just like, I don't even know what, and I let her know, I don't know what you're saying right now, because you're going so fast. The world out there, and I'm pointing to my window, is so different than what I am capable of achieving. And so, grading myself, I'm just going to use that word. If I grade myself, I have to use a curve, because in accepting that and trying to keep in contact with at least a few people, and I haven't been able to. When I say messages have been left, everyone, you guys are amazing, and there are a lot of people who watch this, and I can't even keep up with them. And you guys are amazing, and I have to say, Lisa, phenomenal friend, and oh my God, the list. I don't want to just, Deb and Dana, because there's so many. I don't want the rest of you to think that you're not as important, and that's my issue. Like, I can't talk on the phone much because it just triggers some symptoms, and I no longer want to feel as if I have to choose between feeling extra sick or making the next person feel good about our friendship. Like, if we've been friends long enough, you should know Nikki's sick and it's difficult. And no, a physical visit isn't better. It's actually worse, because you come in with your scents from outside. I mean, literally, as soon as I walk through the door, I have to shower if I've been to the doctor's office, or I just get welts, and I get, for whatever reason, that dysautonomia and mast cell have chosen. Fine, I'm just not fighting it anymore. But it's hard for people to comprehend what a chronic and progressive illness is like. I think we all have gotten to the point where, okay, cancer, we get things that are really aggressive and in your face. But it's harder to understand things that affect people every single day, 24 hours a day. People have just stopped asking, well, how are you? Because it's not a good question. It's just like, um, and I'm always honest, because if I'm not, then people will not understand why I do what I do, why I can't be at birthday parties, and why I can't do family events and the most basic of things, why I get to church. When I do go, I get there really late, and I leave before the benediction, so I get 1 hour of church. But it works for me and my illness. And then my son, he's just a busybody. He's nonstop action. So trying to, yes, okay, deal with that balance, and it's crazy. But mostly just thank you to everyone who's sending emails and kind words, and sending me their stories. One time Dana left. I've never spoken to Dana, like, on the phone. We just text. But one time she called and left a long message where she was just like airing out all of her issues. I loved it, because when I checked it, it just helped me to remember that I'm not alone, and all you guys are out there. Oh, and the other thing, um, that 30 pounds from taking that high dosage of prednisone for for a week because of my asthma and stuff. That 3 pounds still here. Okay, still here. I have topped the scale at a number. I've never had weight issues. Always 142. Always. And then if I really exercise, I could get down to 138, and I would fight hard to get to 135. But and I'm 5'5.5", but 250 people. 250. I'm just thinking the metabolism just stopped functioning. And it's like, and then when I mentioned it yesterday, my rheumatologist is so sweet. She's just like, that's not our concern right now. And there are moments where I can't eat, so the fact that I'm this overweight is interesting to me, and just to realize how fast my metabolism was working. And even after having my son, I went right back down to the 140, literally like the next day, popped the baby out, boop, 142. But my rheumatologist says right now our focus is on just getting more moments into your life that are not as heavy with symptoms, even though they're going to be masked. But at least she's like, I'm not worried about the weight. When I started seeing her at the time, I think it was 170, and I couldn't believe the 170. Like, I've never been fat like this, and but she was just like, it's not a concern. My GI is like, eat. I was like, well, he's like, there's no diet I'm going to give you that. And we tried. And now that he knows that it's pure autonomic failure, he sees it from that standpoint as eat while you can, because if the progression is that one day you can't, then you're going to lose all that weight anyhow. And I think I'm topped off. I don't think it's gonna, if anything, I think it'll go back down, probably to the 170 at some point. And then I'd actually probably have to put in the work now for my regular 142. But nobody seems to care but me. Okay. And I don't have diabetes, or because I'm not sitting around eating, bonbons, and I'm not. Just not. I wish that I had eaten 250 pounds worth of food. At least I could be like, yeah, I did that. I ate that food. Mm-mm. Okay, guys. I could say so much, but I think you all know. And there was one other person, Linnell. What's Linnell's limey name? I don't know, but just been thinking about her and just everybody. Gonna cut it short. Because I can't think. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And for some of us, we've been together on this ride for a few years now. A few years. So, it's good to have company and to be understood and to not be alone. Besos. Have the best day possible.